Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? Hey everybody, it's Miss Dwyer. Sorry that I can't be there today. Today is October 24th, and I want to go over a few expectations with you. Number one, you will respect the substitute teacher and respect all of our classroom rules. You will not ask for a hall pass today. There will be no hall passes while I'm not there. A reminder that your poem for the contest is due today. Turn it into the basket before you leave class. Also, the worksheet from Friday is due. If you didn't finish this on Friday, you need to finish it today and turn it in. Today, your job is going to be to write a 6-part paragraph about the Langston Hughes poem we read last week. So, your job is going to be to discuss how the poetic devices that he used in his poem help contribute to his overall tone. To help you better understand this, I wanted to give you an example that I wrote about the song Juicy that we read at the very beginning of this unit. So here's my example. In the song Juicy, Biggie uses several literary devices to create a tone of empowerment for his listeners. By making allusions to his favorite rappers from his youth and creating powerful imagery of his childhood, he shows the readers his strong nostalgia for growing up poor in Brooklyn. Juicy tells Biggie's rags to riches story, and the song starts off with Biggie describing what his life would be like growing up by making allusions to famous rappers. Biggie says he was hanging pictures on my wall every Saturday rap attack Mr. Magic Marley Marl. As a kid, Biggie idolized people like Mr. Magic and Marley Marl and would listen to them on the radio. He shows that he became empowered by their success, and his idols have now become his peers. Later in the song, he talks about how his youth compares to his success as an adult. Biggie rhymes, "Birthdays was the worst days, now we sip champagne when we thirsty." By creating the hyperbole of drinking champagne whenever he is thirsty, he is showing how far he has come from the days when his family couldn't even afford to celebrate his birthday. This leaves the audience feeling empowered by his words, that maybe they too can change their station in life by following their dreams to work hard and achieve them. In conclusions, Biggie's creative use of allusion and hyperbole show his tone of empowerment to show that he feels accomplished in his life and in the end his dream have come true. So, in this paragraph, I want you to note a few things. First of all, the topic sentence is in blue, and it sets the whole stage for what we're going to talk about in the paragraph. My clarifying sentence is in green, and it further explains how the allusions to his favorite rappers and the imagery that he chooses to make reveal his tone, which is nostalgia, for his song. Then we have our placement, where it sort of sums up what Biggie says about describing his life growing up and making allusions to these famous rappers. Then we have our placement and our quote. In the blue or purplish color you can see here, I have done my interpretation, which is that piece where I really explain what I mean when I say that Biggie idolized people like Mr. Magic and Marley Marl and how that contributes to his tone. Now, I've created a second placement sentence and a second quote where I say birthdays was the worst days, now we sip champagne when we thirsty. I'm using that to support my second idea. So this 6-part paragraph has 2 sets of placements, 2 sets of quotes, and 2 sets of interpretation. Okay, you can see how I've doubled down on the different colors there. Then I have one concluding statement. So this is a 6-part paragraph where you use 2 different examples, 2 different quotes, and 2 different interpretations to support your main idea. So this is what you're going to do now on your own. You are going to write a 6-part paragraph about how Langston Hughes uses poetic devices to reveal his tone. Remember, we decided he had a melancholy or depressed tone in his poem, The Weary Blues. Pick one of the examples we looked at last week. It might be where he uses simile, where he does personification of where the sun and the moon went out, the repetition he does of oh blues or sweet blues, or droning or drowsy, some alliteration. You could pick some of his imagery where he talks about rocking on the rickety stool, or the metaphor that he uses. Discuss how the use of this poetic device contributes to the overall meaning of the poem. The poem is on page 737 of your textbook. The books are in your desk or on the shelf. This is due by the end of class today. You will turn this into the basket. I want you to do this on your own paper. If you don't have a piece of paper, borrow one from a friend, and there may be some underneath the Biggie poster in the back of the room. After the video is over, the substitute teacher is going to scroll down on the website where I have put a copy of the paragraph I wrote about Biggie's poem to help you get started on your own, as well as a list of the assignment that you're to complete today. Hopefully you guys are going to write some great paragraphs. I look forward to reading them when I return. And don't forget, follow the rules, be good, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday.